So the first thing first, if you want to make the devices to onboard to Microsoft Intune, we have a different type of devices. One is Intune can manage Windows, iOS, Mac, and Android. So we will go with Windows first, okay? And then we'll jump into other devices.
Yeah.
So first thing first, for Windows, we need to go with the enrollment options. So if you just go here to the devices, you have here enroll devices. Okay, and also this option will actually give you all at once, like Windows, Apple, Android, all of that enrollment options. Other option would be a platform wise. So if I just click on Windows, I'll only get the Windows enrollment. So the first step is to make the enrollment to happen. So here, to make it that to happen, either we can enroll our devices by configuring automatic enrollment, the specific setting, or what we can do is we can limit within this to a specific set of people. So let's click on this automatic enrollment. So here, if you see, currently the MDM scope is none, meaning nobody can go for it. Okay, so I'll just say some of them. Maybe I just wanted all my test users should be only selected. I can do that, or I can open for everyone. So what we do is, normally in production we will open for everyone, I will save it, but we'll limit in the device restrictions. Okay, but now for now the enrollment options are configured. That's it. That's what we have to do. We're not gonna do anything else here except this. Okay, we just have done all. That's it. And while enrolling, it might ask you for the enrollment status page. This is a status page which talks about whether you want to show some kind of specific settings. Let's say you wanna get some kind of applications that are installing. If so, you want to wait for that till so and so time. Okay, all users to collect some kind of logs, you would like to allow them. All other enrollment options, but by default these settings we don't use it. Okay, in short, we also call as ESP. Okay, in your day-to-day work we call it as ESP. Okay, so we're not going to do anything now at this point of time, but in the autopilot we have to work here to do some kind of settings here. But for automatic enrollment, this is what we have to do. That's it, what we have to do. Now we need to onboard any of the machines. So if you have a Windows device, you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, I'll spin up some machine for you to show you that also.
Yeah, okay. Let's do the demonstration. You show us with your machine, and then I can practice after the course.
Okay, give me a second. Yeah, sure, no worries.
Now, could we use a VM as well, or it has to be a physical machine?
No, it can be any machine. That's not a problem at all.
So it can be a VM as well?
Yes, it can be a VM also.
So what are you going to use now, a physical machine?
No, I'm going to use, see, are you able to see my screen? No, right? Not it?
No.
No. Okay, no worries. We'll go to the second screen. Yeah, I hope you are able to see.
Yes, I can.
So this is a machine, okay? So it has as a plain Windows machine, okay? And
when you say machine, are you saying it's a VM machine or a physical machine?
It's a physical, it's a virtual machine at this point of time, but you can have any device. It just, I'm talking about Windows 10 operating system, that's it, okay?
Oh, I see. So you're just talking about the operating system, you're not necessarily saying it's a VM physical, okay.
Okay, so throughout the course, when I say machine, actually it's the Windows device, okay, any of the Windows device.
The operating system you're talking about when you say machine.
Yeah, exactly. So if you see here,
You know, like yesterday, you said if you have to do Windows autopilot, you can't use a VM. You have to use a physical machine.
Yeah,
That's why.
true.
With
That's
the
true. That's
Windows
true. But we
classic,
are not learning now Windows autopilot, right? Are we learning now
wow.
autopilot? No, right? So I have 40, 50 machines. Okay, don't worry. So we will use multiple machines. We don't stick for a single machine. Okay,
Okay.
so that way, we'll explore everything. We don't want
Yeah.
to limit to just one machine. And hey, I can't do this. No, we have multiple machines. Okay, so now for configuration part, we have done it. Windows enrollment. Now, as a next step, let's actually go back and have one user. So I don't really remember Chris user account password. So let me see the user. Chris is the user account, and let's see if this is Chris is the account. Let me reset password. Okay, I think I remember the password if I'm correct. Notes, Chris password is something here with a combination of some characters. I'll do that. So what I'll do is I'll try to log in here, okay, whether this account is working or not, okay, just to validate the user account.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a test and I don't remember the username password. So for the first time I'll log in, and later point I'll try to remember this throughout the course. Um, Chris. Hmm, yeah, this works fine. So I'll just minimize this. I don't want to go there. So here for this user, we need to verify whether we have a license or not. So we do have a license here this time. So think that this is the end user machine. Okay. So now what we are trying to learn is we are trying to learn Windows 10 auto enrollment or by doing a manual activity. So I'm not talking about the automatic thing. Okay. So as an end user, he has to go here, start, settings, go to accounts, and see work or school. Okay, and he have to click here, connect.
When you logged into this Windows 10 machine, which account did you use to log in?
It's a normal account. This can be a normal user account. Okay, it can be a
So
normal user account.
let me see.
Okay, clear.
Yeah.
So now you have here. So what I'll do is actually I have to type here. So one second. Let me show you here. Click on connect. Then you get here two options. If you see here, one is joining to the Azure Active Directory. Other one would be the local Active Directory. Now
Yeah.
I'm going to click on Azure Active Directory because what we were trying to do is everything is based on Azure Active Directory, not the not on any other thing, because it's just the identity is managed or the base is from Azure Active Directory. That's why in the previous lecture we learned about Active Directory. So now create at log tab. Okay, so that's it. This user, if you see the logo, all of that stuff also coming here. If I try
Yeah.
to do, um, sorry, I have to copy this password so I can log in. So now it will actually say that, hey, you wanna join this machine to the device. Yes. So by doing this, issue connection. Uh, one second, my friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if I click on join, it's gonna join into the Azure Active Directory, right? So let me go back to Azure Active Directory. This is my Azure Active Directory. So I'll just click on devices, and you see here there's no device, right? So
Yeah.
I can say click on join now. So when I click on join, it's gonna join in that. So it should say welcome. So it says that all you have done it, and if you read this, it actually tells that you have to just log off and log in with chris@learninmylab.com. Currently it is logged in as a Paddy, right? So if you click on done, you can log off and log in. So if you ask me, few of the settings will work if you continue to work on a Paddy user account also instead of Chris account. So I'll just say done. So now you see here you're getting this option as connected, right? So to my Azure Active Directory, and you also get the information. So when you click on the sync, it's actually meaning as a sync. It's actually pulling all the
syncing the device to the portal to Azure.
Yeah, Intune.
Okay.
So if I just refresh here, I should be able to see the device name. And you see here, joined is Azure AD joined, and whether it is MDM, yes, it's managed by Microsoft Intune. That's how you manage it. Okay, so now
this section we're looking at in Azure, this section, yeah,
I'm showing in AD. Now let's go back and see in this option, okay, where within the, even if you just go back here and see for Chris account under refresh with the device, it will be listed Chris how many devices he has logged in. He can get it. Also, if I just go to all devices, I should be able to get a device with a errors. Okay, it's not pulled. Maybe I have to just refresh this console. I'll get some kind of errors basically. Okay, let me show you that. Oh my god. Refresh.
It's taking time to come up.
Shouldn't be, because are we sure that we join into the right Intune demo? Right, Intune demo, ready, Intune demo. Right, this is the one. Then that should come any point of time then. So sync. Something wrong from Microsoft Intune. For some time it might take. Okay, so in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll log off, okay, from end user point of view, and we'll log in with that Chris account. So let me switch to Windows mode to, so you see here you get here other user to log in. So simply click on that other user and choose Chris. Yeah, learn in my lab.com. Okay, and I really don't remember the password. Yes, I remembered. So password is, yes, that's it. So I'm able to log in here as a Chris, if you see, and it might take some time. Yeah, so now Chris has logged in. So if you just go back here and see his account, you should be able to see here with the info button. If you see info button, meaning the device is joined into Intune. If you don't see info button here, meaning it is just part of Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, but the device is not.
The info button is part of Intune.
Yes.
You don't see it. Could you expand this window, please? Just so it's as big as the... Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's it. Yeah, that's it. So this is how you enroll it. So now the part is to actually come back to here with all the devices.
It's
So,
still showing.
oh my God, strange.
Oh, why
I never
don't
seen
you...
like this.
Okay, I was going to say, why don't you log out completely, log back in?
Yeah, I think this is not even today's login. Okay, I can do that. Uh, do you remember what was my ID? One second. So we need to log in. All right, so it's the portal.azure.com. Okay, that's a user account. Okay, so here we can go to Endpoint Manager. And from the devices, one device is available. Okay, so it's just a log out and login is the issue. Okay, so hello, you there?
Oh, I'm here. When you enroll a device, will it automatically be compliant?
No, it won't be automatically. We need to talk about some of the compliance policies. That is the next step. Okay,
No,
it
because
is
this
showing as complaint now. Yeah,
saying
but I'm going to talk on that. So okay, let me explain here for you. It's showing as a complaint, but let me click on this device and go back to device complaints. It says that here there's an error, right? There's an error. Okay, I'm going to talk on that. Before that, let me explain about once you added the device enrolled, you will be getting here and managed by Intune. If it is SCCM, config MGR. If it is managed by co-management, here co-managed, right? So we are going to learn only Intune at this point of time, and then the devices whether it's a complaint or not. Okay, and the operating system, all of that stuff, followed by the inventory. So you get the normal hardware inventory specific, very basic information, like what is a device and whether it is a uh, operating system, space, physical or virtual, all of that stuff. Okay, along with the internet, whether it's a Wi-Fi or whatever the Mac, all of that stuff. Very basic. Okay, and followed by you also get the here some of the application information which is coming from a stored specific and device whether it is a complaint or not. I'm going to talk on this in the next 4-5 minutes about this. Okay, once this section is completed, I'm going to talk on that. And also the device configuration. So once we learn the device compliance, we will jump into device configuration. Okay, so I'm going to talk on these two explicitly for 30 to 40 minutes or whatever the time it takes. It needs a dedicated time. Okay, let's also have a look on app configuration. If you have any of the applications, it will show there. And these are the security specific policies. If you configure from here anything, it will come back here. And also these are the applications here. If you see here, the applications that you push from here will show here. Okay, so this is the normal view. Okay, now I'll go back to device compliance. Okay, now so if I just go back to the home page, here devices, we need to actually create complaints. So when I say complaints, what kind of settings must be exist on every machine. Let's say if this is my Windows machine, right? So I'm expecting some kind of antivirus here, or maybe some kind of BitLocker I'm expecting, or some other things. Then that specific policy will be validated on this machine, and it will show that, hey, this policy is not there, so you have to troubleshoot all of that stuff. Okay, so to create that compliance policy, I'll just go to the all devices. Sorry, here on Windows. So we are working with the Windows devices, right? So I can go back here. So if you want to configure, you can also configure from compliance policies. Okay, but I would like to go from here because it is a more explicitly we are working and we are learning Windows device. Go here, learn the compliance policies, configure here compliance policy. So when you click on create, it actually gives you a lot of other platform specific information, especially for Windows 10 and 8.1. So nobody uses 8.1 or later, it's just the 10 and later. Okay, so I'll just click on create, and this is going to be our test or base. This is going to be our base Win10 compliance policy, and this must be these settings must be on every device. Okay, that's what we are expecting. So here you have a couple of settings. If you see here, okay, a lot of other settings are there. Let's say you want to require a BitLocker. You can say that, hey, this machine should have a BitLocker. It will just verify whether BitLocker is there or not. If it is there, it treats as a compliant. If not, it will report as a non-compliant. Yeah. Okay, that's how it's gonna work. So in our case, what I'm gonna do is I'll go with a very basic thing here. A firewall is required. Okay, if I stop firewall, I can easily demonstrate to you whether firewall is turned on or turned off. Similarly, in most of the companies, they also configure the antivirus. Okay, so these are the basic things that you can configure, even with Defender, all of that stuff. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to look for some kind of configuration that must be exist on every machine. That's what we're trying to do, and we are configuring whether firewall exists or not. We're going to validate. So select that, configure, and here are the rows that you can set it so that help desk team can go back and they can validate basically. See, they can send mail to end users, or if the device is not compliant, you can send an email. Okay, if not, you can simply, so one second, you have to if not, you can set some other automated configuration. So these are just the action items. Okay, we'll come back here later point also. Any point of time we can edit this policy and do the configuration. For now, here it's very important that this specific policy, where it's gonna evaluate it. So do you want to apply the settings for every user, or do you have any specific group? Let's say I have already created a test group of pilot phase, and do you want to do that? So it depends on your requirement. So in my case, at this point of time, I'm setting for everybody, because this is a basic setting, must be available on every machine as a Windows firewall and antivirus and BitLocker settings. So I'm just going here, and you also have a exclude options. You can do the exclusion for some users or some set of groups. Okay. Yeah. Clear. So
you don't want users to have that. They don't need to have the firewall. You add them to that. Yeah.
You can do that. So this is the compliance policy. Let's click on create. Now policy got created, and it takes some time. How much time it takes? By default, it takes, if I'm correct, 20 minutes, anywhere to 15 minutes normally to evaluate policy. But if you're in a hurry, how can you do that? You simply go to the machine. Okay, if you're the end user example, you can be on a computer, go to access information and say sync. That's it. That's how you, as an end user, you can perform. Okay, now if you are the admin, how you're going to do? So simply go here to the devices, select your device. Okay, so select that specific device, and you have here a sync option. So I can do a sync. So this is also the one and the same. It will enforce the machine to evaluate all that required policies. So how would I check it for this only specific machine, the Intune specific compliance policy, whether it is applied or not? So you should just go to device compliance. Okay, here the policy should appear. Okay, here it should come up a policy. So I'll just say refresh. I don't know why, but today seems to be a slow Intune.
Or does it want you to sign out, sign back in again?
No. It never happened, honestly. Throughout my experience, it never happened like this. Okay, that's okay. We applied for, I mean, it takes some time. Okay, it's not on an immediate base. That's what we have to remember, because you're talking about a tenant. You're just a tenant. Think that, maybe you're living in a big apartment and you have a single flat maybe out of that. So you're looking for some service. That service is available for everyone. So it has to serve for everyone. It has to go and query. So millions of devices are actually, we're talking about it from Microsoft point of view. So it might take some time. It's not an immediate basis.
Yeah.
So we can do one more time, and if you want to know whether it is reported back or not, simply just click on more info and see lost check-in time is on your browser too. Here the browser time will show as your local time. So in this case it has synced already, so it should ideally show here the policy, whatever the device compliance policy is there, it should ideally show. If it's not showing, that's okay. What we'll do is we'll wait for a few more minutes. Before that, we can continue further configurations, and it will do on its own. We don't need to worry about it. Okay, so this policy, once it is evaluated, it will show in a pie chart like this. So if you see here, if I click on that chart, it says that it's still pending. Okay, it's not evaluated, the policy. So I'll just go back here and see device statuses. It's not yet evaluated. And user state, no. User settings, there's nothing to monitor. So this is where you're gonna have a configuration to be viewed. Okay. So what we have done so far, let's review. We have taken a device, we have configured the auto enrollment option, and we did actually manually enroll this device here. Okay, and once the device is enrolled here, we also have done the configuration for the complaints policy. So this is the one complaints policy which was created and assigned. So it takes some time to evaluate. And if you want to modify, always go to the properties of that specific setting or the policy name, go back here and say you can actually do some kind of changes maybe here, or you can add those devices. All of that stuff can be done here. Okay. Now, apart from that, in the Windows devices, what is the next thing that you have to learn? It's going to be a configuration profile. So in an easy way, my friend, in an easy way, to learn in Intune, you have to first do the three steps in my style of learning, or my style of teaching, I would say. One is enrollment. Okay. Second is you need to go for compliance policies. Okay. Third one is the configuration profiles. Okay.
So sorry. would that be your order, or is that generally the best practice?
See, there's nothing called a best practice, I would say, because you can do any point of time. You can skip 2 and go to the 3 also. But if you look at when I say no best practices, nowhere mentioned like that. Okay, but to learn easy, okay, to work, to troubleshoot, to do that project implementation, this is the easy and best way from my
Oh,
point of view based on my experience. I'm actually not sharing the course, I'm also sharing my experience, right? So
yes.
this is the best way. Okay, so let me erase all of this and go to now configuration profile. So either I can go from here or Windows and then configuration profile. So if I just click on a configuration profile, there's no settings are configured at this point of time. So what exactly this configuration profile? Let's understand. You have a device as this. So this device might needed maybe a automated configuration. Okay, then configuration settings can be applied. Okay, let's say let me open the policy and show you that actually helps you a lot. So if I just go to the create policy and choose here again one more time Windows 10, but here there are a lot of settings, okay, or a lot of templates also available. Okay, so if I just click on create, this is the uh, device configuration profile for Win 10 example. So these are the preview settings which I'm showing. Maybe you want to apply a group policies, right? You have your local group policies. All of that stuff can be actually configured from here. Let's say I want to disable the notifications. You can turn off, turn on, all of that stuff. I hope you know the group policies, right? So you can do it. Let's say I want to hide control panel, add and remove programs, and you can choose hide all of this stuff. Okay, so you have in options all of that, and this is what the new which is coming up, in fact. Okay, in Microsoft Intune, so you can configure here what are those settings is needed. You can block it, you can do all of that stuff in a automated way. Let's say you want an autofill option to be disabled in a browser, or maybe flash settings should be blocked, allow private mode, private printing, all of that, whatever the configurations are available in your group policies, 99% it can be available. So you can simply say disable whatever you want, so that you can review those settings actually will apply. Okay, so these settings, maybe I want to go directly to the wizard. I want to hide new programs, hide, add and remove components from page, user specific, these are okay, hide, change, remove, all of that stuff. So these settings, if you know it meaningful, you can do that stuff. If not, the old method, because these settings are actually a previous settings which I have shown you as a catalog. Okay, let's also look at the standard method as a template. So this is a different method again. So that's about the here as the catalog is settings are coming from the group policies kind of settings. This is different. Let's say you wanna join a machine to automatically to Windows domain, then you would be using, and in fact we might use this in the Windows autopilot configuration. I'm going to show you maybe if time allows. But here, if you see here some of the settings, let's talk about yeah, device restrictions. I think yeah, we can see device restrictions policy. This is for yeah. So here you have a lot of settings are available. Let's say I want to stop the battery configuration to be configured. So you're getting me right. What we're trying to do, we're trying to actually, let me open in a new tab. we're trying to configure a automated configuration, right, for your devices. That's what the configuration profile means. A configuration profile to do automatic settings for your devices, right? So here I'm going to configure my power policy. I can do that power policy settings, okay, or maybe here on a start button, a separate layout. If you have customized it as per the Microsoft documentation, the XML files, all of that stuff, you can upload it here, okay. And you can set the compliance policy for the password. Let's say the password must be at least alphanumerical and it must be 10 characters length, all of that stuff, you can do it. So these all are the automated configuration that you can do it on your devices. So these are thousands of settings, not just a one or two, and these settings you only you'll come to know only if you worked on Windows 10 devices, okay. And these are at this point of time, these are the settings. Tomorrow you may see a new setting also, who knows, okay, because as Microsoft releases new things, it's gonna come up in new things all the time, okay. Clear?
Yeah. Are we going to practice with any settings now and use some?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's say I want to block maybe Cortana device, Cortana settings I don't want, okay. This setting I don't want, and also I can say personalization, no. Alphanumerical, okay. Let's say, but later point we'll do this because that again eats up our configuration to configure manually. So I'm going to actually do this Defender settings. Let's say I want to enable on every machine Windows Defender, okay, and my configuration I can do, okay. Scan all downloads, CPU. These are the Defender settings actually. So every maybe a security update should go every 15 minutes. Monitor all files. I can limit the CPU how much time it's going to take the Defender. Let's say maximum of 10% all the time. Do you want to scan your archives, which are you're downloading incoming emails if you want to scan. So these are my settings. I can put it. So if I find any of the low security, all of that, I can say block. Block. I'm going to block. So these are the settings I wanted to configure, and here there's no exclusions, okay. So I can configure these settings, my friend. So I'll just click on next, and I want to apply this to whom all. Let's say you can actually create a group for your users. We haven't created anything, we have only tests. So let's create two groups. One is all Intune users, okay. Say create the static group. I would like to add the license so that in future whoever part of it, they'll have to, no need to worry about that licensing part. And members I wanted to add today as Chris, okay. And also I wanted to have one more group called all devices, okay. So here this is again assigned. Let's say I can select the members. In this case I think it's a computer name desktop. So this is the computer name I wanted to assign. So now we have two groups created. One is for the user group, other one is the device group. So I can go back here in this tab. I can assign this policy for a specific group, either desktops like all desktops I can target, or maybe all users. It's up to me. So even I can target for both of them also. It's up to you. So it doesn't matter whom to assign. Okay, so these settings will be validated when the user logs on, if it is a user based target. If it is a device based, so it will always continuously monitor that specific setting should be available. That's all it's going to do. Okay, now we have created a profile also. Again, this policy takes some time to come back. So what we can do, we can force it to do this synchronization here, right? And now let's go back and see the compliance policy. See, device compliance policy. Earlier what we have configured for the Windows firewall, it is showing a compliant. But if you also notice, earlier built-in device compliance policy was non-compliant, but now it becomes automatically compliant. You know why? Because there is a built-in configuration which talks about automatically it needs at least one set of compliance policy is needed. If you don't have that at least single policy, then it will treat it as the non-compliant. Okay, so that's the one other setting that is available. Okay, so now we have configured even this specific setting. So what I'll do is I would like to show you to become this device as non-compliant. So for that, what I can do, can you guess? How can I make these devices? I can disable the firewall so that it will show my setting, my machine is non-compliant. Am I correct?
Okay.
I'm just turning off and see what will happen. I turned off and I'm going to resync. Okay, now once I sync, actually what will happen? For me, this compliance will become as a non-compliant.
Because on the compliance, you've mentioned that the firewall should be enabled, but on the physical machine, you've disabled the firewall.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to simulate now.
Yeah.
So, you see, now this built-in policy is compliant, but however, Windows 10 firewall policy, which the base compliance policy, got non-compliant. Why? Because firewall setting is non-compliant. It's showing me. Okay, so you should just go to that setting. Maybe within this policy you might have two policies also, right? Within this policy you might have 10 settings. Out of only one setting is not compliant. If that's the case, out of 10, one is not compliant also, the entire policy becomes as a non-compliant. Okay, so that's how you can actually see the compliance or non-compliant. Okay, now how we can stop this device to access some additional configurations. Let's say when you're trying to access your mails, Outlook mails within this here, you're trying to access your Outlook, maybe you can stop that access by setting up by taking advantage from conditional access policies. Okay, that is an advanced step, we will talk later. Okay, now we know how to check for the complaint or non-complaint, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yes, no? Okay, good. So let me go back to the configurations, device configurations. You see here it's still pending. So what does it mean is basically, I think yeah, Defender, right? Basically it just goes to the Defender specific settings. Here within this you will have a Defender, actually Defender Windows. Windows security settings. You see here, these are the Defender settings. So within this, the required configurations will be automatically applied. So you just need to know what is a Defender, how it works, all of that stuff. Okay, then we'll come to know. So if you see here, it's already enabled almost all the required settings, but if you want to manage any kind of further settings, you would configure here. Okay, so let's actually go back to Intune portal and say here the device configuration is done. So that actually concludes for the Windows enrollment and the Windows policies and profiles. Okay, now let's say I wanted to push some kind of a script. Okay, so what I will do is actually I need to configure scripts.
Yeah.
Right, 1 second. So you just have to execute some kind of stuff. Let me. Okay, so I'll show you something on a Windows 10 machine. For now, let's say I want to execute some kind of script. So what it'll do is either you have to implement some kind of group policy settings to automatically execute the PowerShell scripts. So within the PowerShell, you have something called
Could you increase the size, please? Thank you. Just so I can see better. Yeah.
So within the PowerShell, basically, you have the execution policy, right? So here you have the set hyphen execution policy. You know about this policy? So what
No.
happens is by default within Windows, it will stop executing any kind of PowerShells. So what we do is we would actually configure through group policies to allow required 1 second, get hyphen, yeah, require PowerShell settings. Say example, the policy is can be configured for unrestricted, remote signed, and all signed or restricted. So by default it would be in a restricted set, so no PowerShell can be executed here, no PowerShell script. So I'm just setting to unrestricted at this point of time, so that whatever the PowerShell I'm going to show you from console, it gets automatic deployed for you. So I have a PowerShell script. Okay, I'll show you some PowerShell script. Uh, Give me a second. I need to find out where it is.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't like recording. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, some of my personal files also, I feel it is visible because all of the stuff I do on my personal computer. PS1, it is PS store.ps1. Not here. Come on, where is that? Okay, I'll go to my other machine maybe. By the way, you had your breakfast or coffee?
No. It's only 5 o'clock here. Well, now it's 6, but yeah.
Okay, good. It seems to be. Yeah. So yeah. So I have a simple script. It's not big script, I would say. If I open and show you what it does. So let me open in a notepad. Simple. It's a simple command. So what I've done is like W shell with new object. I'm just saying a pop-up saying that hey, this script arrived from PowerShell. That's it. Okay, you might have any script. Okay, but I'm just showing you a simple pop-up so that you know that this script came from PowerShell. Okay, so this is the script. What I can do is actually I can go back to here and say configure script to push Intune, and oh, this is another problem. Yeah. So I can simply upload the script and run the script in a logged on user credentials. If you want to script that to be executed from a user location, user login credentials, and info script signature check. No, I don't have signature, all of that stuff for my script. And as it is 64-bit specific PowerShell host should be executed. No, I don't want to do that. Just the normal, and I'm saying that all users is fine, even all devices, anybody is fine for me. Say add. So it takes on its own time to pop up here. Okay, that specific window will come up. So I just configure this. So we are going to witness this specific script many times as part of this clause. So once I set it now, if I rebuild tomorrow or today another machine, I still get that script. Okay, because I have configured for all of the devices. So I can show you later point also. No worry, don't expect an immediate basis I wanted to see. Okay, you can't get that. Okay, because it's a Intune. It's a cloud service, so it takes some time. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go back to the whatever we have done so far. Let's have a look on the monitoring.
In the corporate environment, what sorts of scripts would we use in this instance?
Yeah, good question. I think so. These actually nobody uses these scripts actually here. This method I'm going to show you actually after this. I'm going to actually contrast why we shouldn't use this or when we have to use this when compared with the apps. Okay, I just wanted to give you some experience at this point of time that hey, you can push some scripts, but are we really needed a kind of script? No, not really, because it actually depends on what we wanted to achieve with the script. Okay, normally, but otherwise it would be actually going for everything with the applications, which is our next 10-15 minutes. We're going to learn the application deployment actually. Okay, then you will get an idea. Hey, we can do the application. Why actually we need a script? Oh, okay, I need in this purpose. You'll come to know. Okay, which cannot be addressed by apps. Okay, so that's what we have done here, and let's go to Intune portal and look at the monitoring section. So for monitoring, either you can go here monitoring, or you can go here and see. If you see here, the device become as a non-compliant, and the reason you know it, we have disabled the firewall. So that's why it said, hey, you don't have this. Oh, okay. That's what you can come to know. And if I want to make a device to be compliant, what I have to do, I have to enable the firewall. Otherwise, user cannot access the required settings. How I'm going to do that? I can configure with the conditional access policies, which we are going to learn after some time.
Okay, the conditional access policy can automatically turn on the firewall.
No. If since the device is not compliant, meaning you shouldn't access our corporate network data because you're at risk. You're not following our company policies like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that concludes most of the stuff in a Windows. Okay, let's actually talk on other stuff like Windows updates and feature updates. Two things. Okay, easiest one. Okay, so once we configure and set it, you can witness later point also. So currently, if I just go back to this device and Windows updates, okay, it was never checked any settings. Okay, so device is missing some updates, all of that stuff. Okay, if I just go and advanced options, there's nothing actually here. No settings were showing as, there's nothing showing as some of the settings are configured by your admin. These words are not showing here, right? So now my my explanation here is, let's say you have a lot of devices, okay, on a cloud only, because what we are learning cloud only now, not on-prem.
Yeah.
So the user coming from maybe London, Paris, or maybe somewhere else. At the end, this is our Intune cloud, and we wanted to patch every device. And also, not just the patch, there is something called, we wanted all these devices should be on a specific baseline. Let's say this machine has 10 applications. This might have 5, this might have 6, or this might have 3. So all these applications are fully tested by yourself or your testing team, and it works on 1909 build. Okay, but what Microsoft has done is, post to that they released 2004 build, and then they also released 20H2. So in your company, your testing team will test all these applications on 2004 build, and they found that some issues. So you don't want them to upgrade, right? Then if they do, then you would actually encounter some kind of issues with the applications, and that leads to a lot of calls to the help desk team. But at the same time, you want to skip this and you want to go for this new update, which is 20H2, more flexible, okay,
Yeah.
or more stable version. So what you can do is, actually you can configure a baseline. Hey, my devices, no matter what Microsoft release, I wanted to stick to this. No matter what they release, I want to stick here. Like that you can configure. That's a one setting. Other setting is, hey, I wanted to do patch once Microsoft release, maybe after 5 days or 6 days, and if something goes wrong, they can roll back within 30 days or 7 days, and after that it becomes as a mandatory. All that basic configurations also can be configured within these two configurations, which we are going to learn now. Clear?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna click on here, Windows 10 update links. So create a profile. So I'm gonna create a profile for Windows 10. So you will be doing one time this configuration, and you literally forget what you have configured. You never go back here all. So it does on its own. There's no problem on installation or patches installation. If you ever worked as a Windows admin, you might encounter, or if you worked as a SSM guy, you might get a lot of stuff that needs to be literally tested, all of that stuff, right? But here, yeah, testing is again your own risk, but at the same time, the installation of patches is automated fully. That makes our life easy. So now you have these many settings. So out of that, you should actually learn already what is servicing channel. I did actually spoke yesterday's lecture or in the previous lecture about a little bit of the servicing channel. So a servicing channel refers when Microsoft releases the latest build. So they're going to release in all these cycles. Okay, let's say you wanted every time in latest build, and you are maybe a testing kind of guy, then you go in a faster inside your build. So these builds are not part of production. They're
Okay.
they're just a kind of developer testing builds. Okay, not for production. So we don't configure these things definitely, right? But in Microsoft point of view, what they do is they go here first, and then they go here, then they go here, and then they release either this or this version, meaning they themselves have 3 different cycles. Okay, so in our case, we wanted all Windows 10 machines should be on a semi-annual channel. That is, semi means half, right? Annual, that's just every 6 months you're gonna upgrade. Okay, so you wanna do Microsoft updates? Yes, you wanna do the drivers. This is a quite new, very new thing um, which has changed the entire industry, not just the SCCM. It is a breakthrough from Microsoft. Remember these words. This is a Windows drivers. Earlier it was not there. Windows drivers are actually in the backend. It's actually pulling some of the latest drivers from Dell, HP, all other vendors actually, and they're maintaining all of that stuff. So this is actually a breakthrough for operating system deployment. Okay, and then you also have your quality update deferrals. So how many days you want to defer this? Let's say I want quality update, right? This is going to be every month Microsoft releases patches, and that patch, how many days you want to wait until it actually go and deploy it. So in our case, I can say that you can wait for 2 days or maybe 4 days or 5 days, and then later point it's gonna go and install. So I can't give here maximum days. The reason I'll tell you, because here if you see, this is where the Microsoft release the patches on second Tuesday. So if I want to demonstrate to you something, I can give anywhere 2, 4, 5 between value. Okay, so I'll just go maybe 3 days. Okay, and coming back to the feature update, as I talked, a feature update is the latest build. Let's say if you're working with the 1809, you want to go for other build. So this is where it's gonna do. So I want to say here, as soon as you release, so you can go, or maybe 30 days. Okay, and also if the user found that after they upgrade from 1809 to maybe because feature updates talks about the build update, right? 1809 was released by Microsoft, and you are on a 1809, but latestly Microsoft released maybe 1909, and this can be installed after 30 days on all your devices. That's what it talks here. And here on 1909 build, if the user found that there's some problem, there's some problem, then he can roll back from 1909 to 1809 back. Okay, so that period you can actually mention here. So anyway 30 to 60, anywhere from 2 to 60 days time. So in my case I can mention as maybe 30 days. So user installed on maybe let's say April 1st, and he found an issues on 12th, and he wanted to roll back maybe on a 20th, example on April 20th, he can do like that, before 11th or 10th of May he can go back. That's what he is talking. Okay, clear. And let's go to automatic update behavior. So when do you wanted to install? So I wanted to install automatically. Okay, at maintenance time, the time that user sets, or auto install and restart at maintenance. Okay, that is again decided by system, or if you can configure as a maintenance time. Okay, or on a auto install and schedule every week or every day, whatever the time and all of that stuff. Okay, you can go in this way, and any day in a weekdays, or maybe just on a Sunday only to be installed, or maybe Saturday or Friday, all of that stuff. Let's see, I wanted to install this on maybe 11 a.m. every day. Okay, I can configure like that of the local server time. Okay, if the time is differs, that's a different story. Okay, you can configure like this, or I don't want to do this, so let it go on its own, auto install and restart at maintenance time. So what is your maintenance time? So my maintenance time, ideally I work between maybe 7 a.m. to maybe 4 or 5 p.m. and apart from these hours, anything is considered for automatic installation and also do the maintenance time. Okay, that's what it is. And option to pause Windows updates. So Do you want to allow the users to do that? Yes. Or you can disable option to check for Windows update, whether you want to go and say, hey, check for update, you want to disable that stuff, you can do that. Okay, here, and of course it's not recommended. Requires a user approval for dismiss restart notification. You can mention reminders, how many times it should remind, all of that stuff. Let's say I want 2 hours, every 2 hours to be before it actually patch, 2 hours before I wanted to remind. I also remind a user prior to the required or to restart with the permanent reminder, maybe every 60 minutes. That's what I wanted to remind the user before 60 minutes. Hey, you have installed the patches. Like it says that 2 hours before. Hey, prior to the 2 hours, it says you have a patches are available, and once it is installed, before restart, it gives you a 60 minutes countdown for the end user so that he can do on his own. If not, it's going to reboot on after 5 p.m. here. Okay, and you can do the toaster notifications. You want to do it, you can do that toaster notifications. If not, you can turn off except the excluding or all of them. You can do that. So in my case, I'm not configuring. You can also configure even deadline settings. So deadline is once the feature update is released within 30 days, it becomes as a mandatory. Once the quality update released within 5 days or 4 days, it must be installed. And the grace period is 7 days. He cannot postpone that period of time. And are you okay with the deadline with the reboot? Yes, I'm okay. So all of this stuff you can configure within the update string. Okay, and this can be applied to your devices or wherever you want to apply it. That's it. So this is how you create a policy. Okay, so we talked about the Windows Update ring. Now if I just go back here and have a look on it, and if you see here, all of these settings are available. You can do any kind of configuration. Again, you can do the modification. Okay, and here, if I want to roll back some of the updates, you can do it from here. Feature updates can be uninstalled, or quality update can be rolled back, or you can pause for the next few hours or few days, maybe until you resume it, or maybe a feature update or quality updates. As you found some kind of issues, then this resume button will come up. Okay, so this is how you actually configure. I actually explained everything on related to the Windows Update rings, but I didn't explain something called a feature update. Let's say I also explained earlier, said that I wanted my all devices to be stay on a specific build. So that's what it is. So the build is, you can configure here. I want my all the machines should stay on a 20H2 no matter what Microsoft releases, or no matter what Microsoft releases, because I tested all the applications on these builds. Like that you can configure. So all devices should stay at 20H2. Okay, you can assign this.
Don't configure this, then that means whichever one they release, it will automatically
simple. True, yeah. True, but in production, as a best practice, we never do that. Never do that. We wanted to go for a specific build, because all the applications, all of that stuff will be in the same. That's it. That's how you're going to configure. And if I just go back here to my accounts, and if I sync up my worker school, more information, sync, then you are going to get it here. These settings gets changed now in a minute actually. So we'll see again here. See, now you get the few configured updates policies, you see. So all this stuff was actually coming from Intune. The type is device, MDM, mobile device management, is configuring all of this stuff, active hours, updates, disable, enable of the feature updates, feature update defer period, all of that stuff. Okay, so It does on its own in another few more minutes. Like it's gonna check it, and it's gonna show us the update status within the Intune. Here you get a nice pie chart. Okay, we are gonna get this, my friend. Honestly, don't be on against to the device to check on correctly things, because it's a cloud service. It's gonna do slow, and we would be in fact spinning up a lot of devices, and then you can get this graph and all of that stuff. This is not the end of single device. We would spin up a lot of devices for different purposes. Okay, now the device also becomes a complaint because firewall is turned on. Right. So, and if I minimize here, and let me show you here some other interesting thing from account. Some of the settings you should be able to see here. Like you see here the policies. These are the policies configured, and these are the settings were coming up. All of that stuff.
Okay.
And for diagnostic, for the troubleshooting, you just have to create a log. It's going to actually put it into the users public folder. So if you see here, public documents, MDM diagnostic, this is where the logs will export. Okay, so if I just go back here, C colon users public, okay, MDM diagnostic. So this is what the log which talks about any problem. You can troubleshoot from here with the help of log. 1 second, I think it's might be creating, or let me open up with other application. Okay, so wrong, sorry. Yeah, so you see here the device information and all of that stuff, it is coming up. So everything, it has a unique ID. Okay, and the settings that are actually applied from Intune. Okay, the settings, all of that settings can be viewed here. Okay, and at the troubleshooting point side, from a client side, let me open up command. 1 second, let me maximize for you.
Thanks.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I pasted a wrong command somehow. So status. So if you do the this is called DSREG. So you should remember this command very frequently. So this actually talks about the current status of a machine. So we always get a report from end users to get this specific report so that we can understand what's happening. If you see here, this machine is part of Azure AD joint, and it's not joined into domain. This is a device name, and device ID is this. This is the ID which is tracking by Microsoft, not on a computer name. This is the ID. And the tenant details, it's going to show us what is the tenant name, tenant ID, right? Tenant ID, let's see.
Yeah.
Good, okay. That's your on Microsoft.com tenant ID and all of that stuff. And also, the important point would be Azure AD PRT is yes. That's the one thing, and diagnostic settings. And is the devices.
Most of your ADPRT, yes.
Yep, PRTS is the actually it tells about whether it got any kind of record from Azure AD as a token. That's a primary refresh token we call it, and there's a AD authentication. Like in Kerberos, right, Windows Kerberos. Similarly, here it actually talks about a PRT. That's the authentication mechanism. So if you don't have that token, the devices cannot communicate with Azure AD.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but also here the important point is Intune device joined, AD joined, all of that stuff. It's going to pull up. Okay, And in case if you're troubleshooting, you should just go to this page. It's gonna tell us. Okay, we talked actually extensively on Windows at this point of time. Also, some of the patches, all of that stuff will be pushed. So let's also look at configurations. Some of the configurations are getting error. If you see Windows 10 rings, it says that everything is success now. Okay, meaning, yeah, this is a good example to tell you about the cloud service. So if you see here, it's a green. And if I just go back to my device configuration, I got here an error, but actual state is green. Meaning after a few minutes, it gets as the green. Okay, you just have to evaluate one more time and it will report back the status.
What's evaluate? You mean evolve?
Yeah, yes, evolve.
Okay.
Just check for the policy and it compiles that policy, all of that stuff. Okay, I think we also have pushed something here, a PowerShell script. I think we can check it, or maybe later point also. So if I see this, there's no status back actually. So we can't get it anything because it was not pulled yet. That's fine. We'll get it later point. So far, how did you feel? Is it okay? The pitch, and the speed is good, right?
I'll definitely, yes.
It's all right.
Go back and look at the videos, but yes, it's clear.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the application deployment for Windows 10. Okay, now if I go to applications, I have here all kind of applications, or I can go by platform. So it's good to go by platform. You know why? I'll show you how I made your life is easy here in terms of an understanding. If I just go to the devices, I said I can go by platform and do all the configuration. Also, you can do it from here also, compliance policies, right? If I just click on compliance policy, so we have created earlier for Windows 10, but if I just try to create the same thing from here, you have a lot of things here. It makes more confused for you, right? So when you start learning, it's good to go by platform. A later point, it might be easy for you. Okay, same thing goes for applications also. You can go from here and create all kind of applications, but it's a huge list. Okay, huge list. So I don't want to confuse here. We would cover everything. We would cover everything, but not in this order. Okay, go in this order. Okay, so applications, go by platform Windows, and within this all. So here you have all of this stuff that is related. So now let's actually try to deploy Office 365. Okay, so you just click on Office 365 because it's a Microsoft package. It is readily available for you. You don't need to do anything, and the source also available in a cloud. Right, Office 365 is a subscription base, so it's fine. And simply you can, is it productivity? Yes, it's related, definitely productivity, the logo, all of that stuff, and say next. Now here it actually talks about what is that you want to push. Do you want to push Access? No, I don't want to push Access. I want to push Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint. I don't want Publisher. I want Teams, Word, all of that stuff. You can do, customize basically. And if you have a license for Visio, all of that stuff, you can do that. If not, you can ignore. And the servicing channel, even Office 365 also, the product name is 365, but it also gets updated as similar earlier what we spoken or what we explained, like a current channel here would be the one. So we just go with the current channel. That's it. And these are the toasted notification, remove the previous versions if found, all of that stuff. If you want to do it, you can do that stuff. And click on next. And just, I got here some notification. Give me a second. You see here? I got a notification because I can hear the sound. So you see Windows Updates has been installed. Device has to do all of this stuff. So that's a Windows updates. That's how you're actually getting the update specific. See, it's doing all of that stuff, installation, doing pending restart, it's going to install, and says that, hey, important updates will be installed after your device restarted. Ready? You can pick a time because we gave the notification, so that's why it's showing. Okay, that's good. Let's go to even this is the 20H2, so I think Win or the latest version of Windows 20H2. Okay, we'll spin up maybe 1809 or something so that you can also see the Windows upgrade if you want. That's just one-time configuration with the Intune. That's it. You forget it. It does on its own everything. Yeah, that's why this product is easy to learn. Now I'm gonna push to whom? I wanted to push to all devices. Let's see, and say create. So now Office 365 is about to deploy on my Windows 10 machine, and if I have a license, I should be able to use it. Okay, if I don't have a license, I cannot use it, but application gets installed. So the ultimate target or ultimate learning here experience is to get the application to be pushed. So it's going to do that stuff for us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna get again a pie chart, all of that stuff. This pie chart and monitoring, all of that stuff is quite common for everything.
You see in Intune, can you actually install the operating system as well, or no? Like how you would deploy OSD deployment, so like operating system deployment. Can you do that through Intune? So if we wanted to deploy Windows,
we'll do that. I mean, I can say yes and no, because yes is because you have a autopilot. No is you don't have option from here. Okay, but yes, that's a replacement. Windows autopilot. We are gonna experience that. Okay. Let's just let's go to the application. So we have now just experienced a simple application, in this case a Windows Office 365 specific application. So I think it's a good to do the reboot also, maybe, so that we can stick on this specific thing, I think. So let's see what's the status. It's still installing. Opposed to that, we can do the reboot. Okay, so in the meantime, I wanted to show you some other applications also. So it will come, my friend, don't worry. We have actually configured one application method, which is Office 365, which is from Microsoft Store, Microsoft Direct application. This was 365 apps. Now you can also push the browser. That's an Edge latest browser all the time. This is also quite simple. The latest Windows 10 browser gets pushed, but just to let you know, from April month, that is April 2021, Microsoft made as Edge as the mandatory deployment to upgrade all the Internet Explorer users. So that version automatically might have already pushed, but you can do it like this. Okay, language based on your operating system, all of that stuff. So I'm actually pushing here to the required devices. That's it. This is how you can push it. Now other application is here. We experience these two. Web links are something that people have a web link, short link, and you just have to give the URL. So the user will click on that URL. Okay, and then that specific thing can be pushed. Okay, I'm not going to cover that because nobody does that. And mostly, if you ask me, in a Windows, what we're going to do in a production, two things, these two, and Office 365, and sometimes even Microsoft Store app.
Yeah, okay? So like, can we do one from the Store app, let's say?
Yeah, let's finish, everything.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, let's finish everything here so that we will close the application section. right? So we'll close everything. Now we talked about other web link, and now we'll talk about the easiest one is line of business application. I wanted to make it an easiest method for you to understand what is line of business application. Okay, so like you have maybe Notepad plus plus
Yeah.
example. This is an application. How this application is available? Let's say I want to download or push this application. Let's say download. This is coming as a exe. Can I deploy this? No, you cannot deploy. Okay, so what is this exe called? Okay, I'm going to show you here. This is not line of business application. It is called native application called Windows App Win32. What you have to do, you have to repackage this with a format that Intune can understand. I'm going to teach you that in next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, but what I'm going to do is the easiest one I wanted to teach you now. That's called line of business application, or LOB apps. So what it is, so here you're getting in .exe, so you can't definitely do. So you might need to find a MSI based downloadable, right? So I'll say MSI download example. So I can browse here and say download as MSI. I mean, I'm just taking any of the random file. You can also tell me if you have another file. This is MSI. This is also some other useful tool. Right?
Manager tool.
Yeah, this is a tool which is normally very useful for sysadmins or maybe SCCM admins another way. So this is also MSI format. So we will take two of them. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay, we'll try to push two applications in a line of business application model. So you have here, which is MSI as a notepad, other one as config MGR, right? So that's a target to push. So our requirement is, hey, you got a requirement, you wanted to push some software called notepad and config MGR. I'm going to explain even the pros and cons also. Before doing this step, let me show you the navigation. Go to the portal, application, choose Windows, and click on add for Windows apps. And this is line of business application. Click on app. So if you see here, it must be on any of these formats. So that's why I downloaded here MSI, right? So it's compatible in case MSI. I don't have any other sources, so I can show you. But either way, it's the one and the same. So all we have to do is we have to locate the path. So here, select the package called, what is the package here? This is config MGR toolkit example. Now a question comes to you. It should come to in your mind that, hey, I never have only one file. Let's say if this is maybe, let's take example. I might be wrong, but giving an example, you are pushing some software called Photoshop. Okay.
Yeah, it has multiple.
If you see this is multiple files and one file called setup.msi. In that case, this is not going to work. What you have to do, you have to work with the packaging team, convert them to a single package and upload it. Okay, so I'm going to show you an alternative way also for this in the next 10 minutes. I'm going to show you that. Okay, bear with me. And now if I just click on OK, it's going to actually do upload after I close this wizard. Okay, it's giving the name, it's automatically identifying, hey, you're installing Toolkit 2 software and it was created by Microsoft. And what's the category of this? I would say this actually falls on, this doesn't matter choosing anything, but it just gives you a kind of experience, so that later point, if reporting purpose, it might useful. Okay, so I'll simply say I don't have a logo. Also, if I have a logo, I can give it all of that stuff. Say I wanted to push this to all devices, or maybe all users wherever they go. Simply next and assign. So now if you see here, please carefully see here, application created but not the true. It actually gonna say upload starts. Now see here it's uploading, meaning there should be a limit also for the upload, right? So the limit is 8 GB, if I'm correct. If I correctly remember, 8 GB is the current limit. So anything that has more than 8 GB, hey, you have to split into multiple packages and deploy it. You have to find other way. Okay, so now we push the configure MGR toolkit. Let's also try one more time with other application, in this case Notepad++. So if you see, this is actually going to execute on a user or machine. So it's a per machine, earlier software also per machine actually, meaning you should actually target for, better to target for a machine based, not on a user based. Okay, that's what Microsoft recommends. Okay, and say I wanted to target to all devices, let's say. That's it. Now create two applications, right? So you see here we pushed so far 3 of them, but we don't know what's happening here, my friend. So let's go. So everything, it's still installing, but if I see anything is coming up, no, not yet. Okay, so let it install. Let it install. In the meantime, I wanted to show you the other method of package, which is mostly used. Mostly, when I say mostly, actually, if you see, this is 2021 and we just picking up Intune maybe last 2-3 years, right? So but if you go back and see how the current industry, they are end up with a lot of exe files or a lot of source files, not a single format, right? So that's where this method comes, called Windows app or Win32. So what you have to do is you have to convert this to .IntuneWIN format. Okay, this is a kind of Intune format package. You can learn from here more. Give me a second. Yeah, so here what happens is Microsoft actually given a source to manage or a package, a software. Okay, Microsoft given a software which can convert into the required Win32 app native to Microsoft format. Okay, that's an Intune format. Okay, for that they have given a source which is available in a GitHub. Okay, give me a second. I wanted to have some water. Yeah, so Microsoft actually given a Intune application packaging software in a available, which is in a GitHub. Okay, so all you have to do is if you just go to the prepare for Win32 app, this is the link. Okay, Win32 content preparation tool. So if you just go here, you can go and get this file. Okay, once you download that file, you'll have these files. Okay, you see here, this is a simple one exe file will be there. That's it. Okay, this is a simple file is needed for us to convert. Okay, clear, right?
Yeah.
My friend, why I'm missing many things? Give me a second, or maybe let me go to Patty. 1 second. I've already downloaded. Just wanted to show that. Oh, it's not. Okay, never mind. Give me a second. I'll just pause this screen sharing and I'll open some other folder which is in a hidden mode of the source. Intune. Maybe you can take a quick 1-2 minutes break if you would like to. MP4. This is come on. Okay, never mind. I think what I can do is I can re-download this anyway, 2-3 KB. So I hope that's okay with you if I
Yeah, yeah, it's
re-download.
fun.
That's fine, right? So
Yeah, download it.
yeah, let's download the latest one. Yes, go here and say download. Just gonna download. That's it. It's done. So here I'll just extract the same location where it is downloaded, and I'll take this file because in future also if I would like to use, I'll put it here. And you can see the file has downloaded. Okay, so what software we would like to convert this? So you have anything in mind, or I have some software here. Adobe software is there. You normally install it, right?
Yeah.
So Adobe Reader. So how it works is like Adobe. It's a normal software, right? So you can just double click to install. See, this is the Adobe software. Okay. So what I've done is actually I have created a simple batch file. Okay, to automatic install silently. This is a batch file.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can also find the path here. I think this is setup slash question mark should show me all of that stuff. Okay, so I can show you here slash s all silent mode for the product. So it's gonna do that automatically. Okay, so if you know it already, other command, let's say this is install, maybe for uninstall also you might need to work on. I don't know what's the command, I'm sorry, but let's say X is uninstall example. Okay, I'm not going to test that now, but what you have to do is you have to whatever the source you have, let's say today you have here Adobe Reader, tomorrow your company might give some XYZ source. You need to find out the MSI exit commands. So in this case, so these are the commands that are used to uninstall automatically silently and test that. So I'm going to test it. Okay, from here, you see here, I'll just go here and say my change directly and say install. So it's going to install automatically the software. You see, it's doing something in the backend. It has to finish that. See the cursor also, yeah, it clicked, it's done now. So if I just go back here, now Adobe came. So software is working fine, right? So I need to have in this format. So once I have this format, what I can do, I can go to the Intune package creation tool. That's a content preparation tool we call. So we go to that directory. I'll say, hey, this is the software. This is the simple exe. So simply click on that exe. It says that, hey, where do you have a source? I have my Adobe source in this folder. This is my Adobe folder. Okay. What is the file you want to use for install? If you remember, I used something called install.bat, right? So I'll just show you the file extension also. So this is install.bat. I'll say, hey, I used as a install.bat. Okay, where do you want to put this? I wanted to convert this entire package. Okay, and where do you want to put it? Say I wanted to put it into here as Adobe underscore output example. Sorry, output was not there, but let's say, hey, I wanted to copy here the package to be converted and put it here. Okay, this is a catalog, that's a packaging terminology. Just leave it, you don't need. So click on no for that. So what it is doing, if you read here, compressing all of that stuff, it is adding some required files, and then info is done with 100%. And you see here, it's created something called install.intune.wim file. That's it.
Yeah.
So what's the size of this? 57 or 58 odd MB, right? So what was the actual size of the Adobe? It's also 115. So what it has done, it has just compressed and it made as the one file. Okay, this is how you actually make the conversion.
Okay.
Now you go back to your application, here Windows, applications, you choose here, Windows app, select the package, here, show the package which you, I think it's here, right? So I'll copy, I'll give the path of that folder, and it's a 57 MB. What would happen ideally? So it's going to say what is the package name. So it's say, we can say Adobe Reader installation, and say this is the created by, you can description, right, created by internal team. Okay, maybe used for, it's a device, maybe whatever you want, that's a PDF reader. That's it. And who's the publisher? Published is Adobe or your company, whatever it is. What is the app version you're talking about? You can check out all of that stuff, category. So it's definitely a other application or maybe a productivity specific. You can choose. And there's something called a show as a featured application. What happens is, I did actually talk about only here. I did talk about only how to automatically do that stuff, right? So, but I didn't talk about an application method. I'm going to show you that. But in between, if you see here, recently added some other applications also got delivered, like Notepad++, Office, also your toolkit, all of that stuff. If I just go back to appwiz.cpl, it will show me all of that stuff. See here, it's delivered. Office delivered, also Notepad delivered. So, and also Team, also machine-wide installer also got installed. Teams, Windows, Microsoft Teams, all of that stuff got delivered. Okay, as per our configuration. So this is automated. You no need to worry. Once you configure, it works 100% because it's a tested product. It should work. If it's not working, it's a Microsoft fault.
But you see where it had Win32, does that mean we can only install 32-bit apps in Intune?
Which one? No. It's not that actually. Okay. It's not that. It's not like that. Okay. You can install 64-bit. In fact, this is a 64-bit.
32 then?
It's a legacy application, my friend. It's a legacy application.
Okay. All right, I see.
Legacy.
But you can install 64 bits.
You see here, Notepad Plus is it 64-bit or 32-bit?
No, I'm talking about, in Intune, if you go to Intune.
Oh, the package is that's how they have given. They use that's a source. Okay, they use that as a source of Win32 to create a
Oh,
package. Package creation is done here. See, uh,
well, we can
you know
create
how Windows works, right? Yeah,
we
great.
can create 64 bits
Yeah,
packages applications here as
yeah,
well. Oh,
yeah, yeah. You can do that. Okay, so when you choose here as the feature application, it will be in a portal. There's a company portal application will be available when we go to the further lectures. Okay, that's an application that needs to be installed on the devices. Then in that portal, it will be shown as the on the front page. That's called a feature app. Okay, if whatever you put it as a feature app, that becomes as a first listed as a priority for you. And now in the program and the requirements and the detection and these three steps are critical and it needs to be tested before you actually push to your production. Okay, we are on that steps. The first one is the program. What is the program you're going to use for installation? So I did actually talked earlier. For installation we are using install.bat file. You have to mention that. What is the command that you use for an installation? So think that you have already tested here and it's working for installation, then you use this. And now is it system based or user based? So behavior should be system because Adobe gets an install on a system, not in a user context, right? So that's what it is. And these are the common error codes, and based on that it will detect whether it's a success or it requires a reboot or retry, all of that stuff. So now we're moving to the second one, which we have already done now. The first one is completed, the program. Now the requirement. So what is the operating system that you want to use as a base, and what is the disk space required, logical processor. So these are kind of detections that needs to be available on the machine side. So I'm going to say here it can be a 64 32-bit operating system or just a 64-bit, and minimum operating system is Windows 10 1909 or maybe 1809, because we are going to try on 1809 also in future. So I just wanted to show that. Disk space, all of that stuff you can, and you have any of the custom scripts given by your packaging team, you can add up that. And detection rules, you can configure here manual detection or custom detection with a script. So I don't have any script to detect, so manually, meaning here if Adobe gets installed on my machine, it actually comes in x64 or x86, yeah, x86 reader. This is where it's going to come up, right? And this is how it looks like. So what I'll say is here manual I'll select, and I'll say as a file based or maybe MSI based detection, you can select it if it is you have MSI or maybe a registry key. So you need to find out what is that it's gonna determine as a success criteria. So in my case, I want to go for, I don't want to make it as a complex and like a registry, MSI, all of that stuff. Simple, I know if Adobe reinstalls in this folder, and in that folder, I must have to have Adobe Acro AD32.exe file should be available, and it must be exist in this folder. This file should exist. That's it. That's my detection. So that treats as the machine got that software is available. So there's no dependency before install this. You want to install some software, all of that stuff, you can do it, but I don't have any other stuff. Supersedes, this is quite new, recently added by Microsoft. If you have any supersede versions, let's say if this version is 10 and 11 version you want to supersede with the 10, then you can do all of that stuff. And whom to assign, you can choose whom to assign this, and create. Okay, I've done actually so far a lot of applications. Let's go back and see the stuff actually. So in this case, let it upload this package. It doesn't take much time, just a 57 MB. It started now uploading. You see, there is some package issue. Huh. So there's some problem. There's some problem. Okay, there's some problem in the applying. So we may have to re-upload. Error during the upload. Try adding this app again. Okay, we'll give it a try. Okay, we'll just say delete. I'm sorry, there's nothing
That's all
wrong
right.
we have done. So let's go to Windows. Easy. There's nothing wrong from our end, but Adobe output, right? Yeah. Just say maybe business or whatever it is. Company portal. Show it, and this should be publisher is Adobe. Okay. And that's it. I want. Click on next. So installation is this. This is uninstall.bat system. I don't want any reboot, all of that stuff. If you want, you can do that manually. Required is 64-bit. I'm selecting everything is quite same. There's no change from my end. Manually detect the path, the file based, and the file location is this. File name is maybe what to choose here, exe. File exists, that's fine for me. Dependencies, nothing, all of that stuff. So I wanted to add devices for wherever I want. Oh, this name is no coming as install.bat. I don't want that name. I wanted a proper name. It should come as Adobe install. So now Adobe Reader install. It's going to do all of that stuff. Create. Takes a minute. So in the meantime, I wanted to talk actually here in applications. If you see here toolkit, for example, you also have here the required. Here, if you see here notifications, where is that? No, not this. Deployments. So you get this, the report is not yet sent. If you see here for the notepad, all of that stuff, it got installed, but it's not yet sent. So the same thing, it has taken this time. If you see, the package is uploading finished. And if you see here, it's still unassigned. In a minute or so, it becomes as a assigned. If I do a quick refresh, yeah, it is assigned. So there's nothing changed, okay? It's just a fault from Microsoft side. Okay, so this is how you actually do all the applications. Now let's go to the store-based application which you are looking. So store, click on select. Okay, now here you need to actually go to Microsoft Store. Okay, and get that application URL. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'll give here any of the name of that store. Okay, and that URL also is needed basically to deploy. So just a simple, go to Microsoft Store location and deploy the required application. So here, where is this Microsoft Store? Yeah, like to be here. Let's say I want Netflix example. No, so this is the Netflix maybe URL. Okay,
Well,
yeah. So I'll simply go back here and post that URL. Okay, simple URL. Okay, and that's it. And you need to have. So if you see here, this is how the toast is coming. You see, Microsoft Intune software distribution by your IT company required some changes. Okay, if I just click on that, it's still downloading. The pop-up, you didn't see the pop-up, right? So the app for Adobe Reader, it's actually pop. Let's see the pop-up. We didn't restart the machine also. It's still downloading. In any point of time, it can actually do the installation. Okay, it's gone that pop-up. Let's go back here. Netflix and category could be photos and media, and select. And I wanted to assign this to a group. Maybe all Intune target, all Intune users, example, create. That's it. So the app will be published and it will be available for the end users and it gets deployed automatically. Okay, so we talked about everything within this. Okay, so that concludes the Windows applications.
yeah.
Okay, now now we will actually move to. Oh, that actually give me a second. Let me see what is missing here. Still, I think here is it. Yeah, Adobe is got installed. If you see here, Adobe got installed on the
Yeah.
machine, and I think everything looks good. Let me also do a quick reboot because we haven't rebooted the machine. That takes some time. So in the meantime, uh, yeah, now let's discuss. I think maybe within this time we can discuss. Now, you know applications, what it is, and what kind of applications you can deploy it. But now, if you compare with the scripts are something that actually uh, can do something on an end user machine, uh, on a user specific settings, or maybe a device specific configurations can be executed automatically. Because when I try to do here applications, I don't get an option to push directly a script. Instead, I can do it as convert into Win32 format, right? Or maybe a line of business application format, and then I can do that. So instead of that, all the packaging necessity, I can simply go ahead and use the script directly from here. That's a major difference. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. So let's move to other settings here. So I want to talk about the enrollment restrictions now. Okay, so the enrollment restrictions, if you want to explain theoretically, a single user can enroll up to 5 devices manually or automatically, not more than that. If you want to decide a user can have more than 5 devices, you can configure here. Okay, and currently All kind of operating systems we are welcoming to enroll into Intune, but that's not recommended. Definitely, as a company, we will define some kind of mobile devices operating systems only, at least the versions and make and model, all of that stuff, right? So you can actually set here device type restrictions. So you can say, like, for test users, I'm doing this stuff. Let's say I wanted to block all Windows, or maybe in my company I don't have iOS devices, then why should I allow iOS, right? Or maybe my company felt that I don't want to allow Android specific. I didn't talk about it, the comparison between these two. I'm going to talk later point, but these two are considered as Android. So I don't want to do that. Allow maybe these type of devices. I can configure here, or I can say that instead of I wanted to allow Android everything, I wanted to allow maybe a specific version of 10 and above version only. Okay, I can say, right, that's Android 11 is the current version, so 10 and above only allowed. You can do that kind of configuration, and also allow only not Hawaii, because of this political drama. Maybe Hawaii is not supported in your European Union, maybe because they theft the information. Like, you can say that only Samsung, Korean company, you can do that kind of configuration here. Okay, and this is what the restriction settings. Okay, so we covered restriction settings, we covered the enrollment for Windows devices, and we also covered applications for Windows devices. So that including the patching. So that actually concludes the Windows by platform completion.
Yeah.
Okay, so now actually whatever we have learned, similar things we are going to do it on Android device. Okay, but we can't go in this easiest method to do all of that stuff here, because it needs little bit of theory for Android. Okay, let's jump, because you know already this stuff, so it was becoming easy for us to directly jump into Windows, but not the same case. So this is my style of teaching. So what I've done, if you see here, we have actually taken a trial. By default, it sets the uh, authority. That's nothing but the device managed by as Intune when you enroll. Company configuration we have done. So when you're trying to enroll, actually you need to configure the terms and conditions for the company, which we have not done. So let's do that configuration, so that makes easy for us in even on the mobile devices also. So let's go to your tenant administration. So within this you have terms and conditions. So any company, they have their own terms and conditions that needs to be followed when any user try to enroll, right? So I have actually a sample, very sample files, terms and conditions. So I can say my company should follow all the users these European laws, or my company uh, rules and regulations, all of that stuff. So I just downloaded. So I can say welcome to my learning lab, or cookies, all of that stuff. Like I just created this stuff. I'm sorry to say, but these are the terms and conditions that I actually created. So I'll say terms and conditions. So when you enroll, these are the things should come up. Uh, they should actually say okay, and then only we should allow them. Okay, that's how we can say up. So maybe, oh my god, it's so big. Let's copy some of them.
Okay.
even though that's a big one, seems to be. Right, okay. That's it. Okay, so then say next, and you want to allow this terms and conditions for all users must have to follow this. No, this is should be a terms and conditions of company. Okay, so this is my LAN. So I want it to applicable for every user. Definitely, these are the conditions. So if I enrolled definitely in this machine one more time, I actually get all of that stuff, the terms and conditions. So we're going to do it, my friend, don't worry. One more time we will do all of this Windows stuff. Whatever we have done today, we will be doing again and again because of the autopilot and other stuff that needs to be discussed. Okay, so I don't remember, Chris, at mylab.com, and the password as the password, not this, not this, not this. Yes. Yeah, it's going good. I forgot to tell you something. I just wanted to tell that also, so that it makes easy for you also. So when we push any of the Win32 applications, the common problem that we encounter is this specific extension might be missing. Microsoft Intune Management extension might be missing on your clients. Okay, so this extension should automatically come up by on its own. You don't need to do anything actually. It comes on its own. Okay, so if it is not coming, then there could be some problem. Okay, so you have to I mean, if this extension is not there, this Adobe might not install actually. Remaining applications can install, but this. And also what Microsoft does is, in an intelligent way, if you push Win32 application, by default, if this is not available, it actually installs this, later point installs the Win32 application, the legacy applications. That's how it's going to do. And coming back to the uninstall all of that stuff, you have to take care manually, like executing all of that stuff and things. Okay, terms and conditions we have configured. What is that? Yeah, and the enrollment options, even the platform and device tab we just configured. Compliance policies we configured, device built-in policies we know, and pilot testing of your group policies to be done. I mean, the policies should be done basically. You have to test it on few machines. Don't open everything for every user. Meaning, here the enrollment always should be scoped to not for all users. Set it to some when you're trying to do in a pilot mode. Select that specific group and do test everything. Once it is you're okay, then open for everyone. That's what I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's jump into I think we need to talk in a simple and easy way. This specific thing. So when you enroll Android devices, you can get it as a personal applications and managed by your company applications, right? And like Microsoft has operating systems, similarly, Google also have a different versions of Android OS, and it has its own management engine. Okay, if you ask me, on a Windows you can manage some of the things with the VB script, some of things with PowerShell, right? Similarly, on a Google you can actually do on it two ways. Okay, one would be the let me take here as the pen, maybe, yeah. So you can actually do with the Android Enterprise offering, which we do it throughout the course. Okay, and if you look at, out of 100% of users, 99% of the users or 99% of companies will work with a Android Enterprise offering, not on DA. Okay, these are two different management options that you have for managing your mobile devices. So why this is more pushing from Google is because it's a consistent and a reliable management. You have a simple and safe application management, and also if anything found in Microsoft or in the Google's operating system, some bug, you can actually you can get the 0-day support. That's why, as I said, 99 point whatever the percentage is pushed by this specific management engine, and
Yeah.
it's by default secure and it's a solid foundation to build. Whereas, whereas the DA, you don't do it actually on a DA, all of that stuff, because it's a device administration. It's a similar kind of rooted kind of device configuration. We don't do it. If you want to, you can go and Google that, find out more information. Okay. Now I'm going to explain to you 4 or 5 different settings. That's why I opened this PowerPoint. This is very, very important. And if you can understand the settings, the entire learning for the Android becomes dot for you. In a nutshell, you're going to learn everything. If you don't understand this, I'm sorry, the other things makes it difficult for you. Okay, I'm not talking about the settings. I'm not talking about the settings. So what I'm talking is, I'm talking about the Android Enterprise offerings. So with this offering, you have a 4 options. How many? Total 4. The first one is, most of you know, including a layman knows that, hey, I have my own personal device. I wanted to, use that for company purpose. That's called bring your own device. But a few people also call BYOD. But in here within the Microsoft, we call it as a personally owned with work profile. You read this word as a stretch, work with work profile, meaning device purchased from your money, from your pocket. You purchase that device. You also enjoy your TikTok, your Facebook, all of that stuff, along with a work profile which is created by Microsoft. Intune. Okay, meaning your company will have the applications in a secure way. So it is how we secure all of that stuff will be discussed later point. But what happens with this, I'm going to explain one more time whatever you see here. But just wanted to give you the naming here. This slide is just to make it clear for you to remember the names. Okay, so the first one is personally owned work profile. Other one is, other 3 options, to be frank, is one and the same. Okay, is nothing but the device is given by your company. Okay, paid by your company, not by you. Okay, the first option is paid by you. The other 3 options are paid by your company. Okay, so some companies gives either option 2, some of them option 3, some of them are option 4. Okay, so you choose what you want it here. Okay, I mean, you when I say you, it's a company chooses what they wanted to give. The first one is, how it looks like. It looks like this. It's a personal device. You have your Netflix, you have your Facebook, OneDrive, all of that stuff, but you also have your business applications, right? So this is called bring your own device, and that's the bring your own device concept. And the second option, which I'm saying, Android Enterprise Corporate Owned with a work profile, that's called COPA. COPA, meaning the device is owned by, this device is owned by company, meaning what I can do, if I want, I can wipe the device, I can say retire the device, I can give a new device to the user. Okay, I can do whatever I wanted. Okay, because it's paid by company. But within this device, what I'm doing, I'm making my users also to enjoy Netflix or maybe Facebook. I'm not stopping them. I'm not restricting. Meaning, it's one and the same almost. My friend, it's one and the same, both. But the ownership of the device is corporate owned. Clear? Okay, with a certain restrictions and certain full control on the device. Here you don't have a full control on the device, but here you'll have a full control on the device. Okay, now I'm going to talk on third option, which is fully managed. It's a fully managed, meaning you are going to fully manage the entire device. This device, you have full control on the device. Saying what? See here, if you read, it's a single user specific, exclusively for work profile. No personal entertainment, no Netflix, no YouTube, no TikTok, no Twitter. Okay, so it's fully managed by company own device, fully given for only specific applications. Okay,
Yeah.
by your company. So most of them go with the 3 option, right? But some companies might also offer 2. Why? Let's say you have a company director. Okay, you can't say that, hey, I can't give you a Twitter. Think about Elon Musk. Okay, he owns a company, but he tweets all the time, right? So you can't stop it. So mix and match, right? Now, other option is, this is not for I would say for a users. Okay, this is a dedicated, you see here, Android Enterprise Dedicated. In a short, we also called COSU or COSU. Why we call this? Let's say you're going to maybe learn an airport example. You have a device there actually with an operating system called Windows 10, and there would be some application will be there to check in, check out of with your airplane ticket, or you can book the ticket, all of that things. So that can be managed, that kind of devices. So I'm not going to demonstrate this. I don't have that kind of devices definitely. So these are digital signage devices. Okay, and those devices can be managed with Intune, and that will have only certain purpose. The device meant for a certain purpose, and it has the Android offering operating system inside that. So when I say certain format, like a printing of your tickets, or maybe doing in a supermarket, inventory management, what is the current stock of maybe broccoli, all of that stuff, that's where you are going to use the other method. So if it's a manufacturing company, you might be using this. Okay, so these are the 4 offerings. Let's deep dive with the visuals. Okay, so where I can find these? Hey, you can find, if you go to the devices, Android, you have a Android enrollment. You have 4 options we talked about. Personally owned, which is nothing but a bring your own device. Okay, and my style of teaching is, again, you should actually learn first as this, and second as this, then third as this, and the fourth as this. Don't go like here, like the first one is this and second as this. No, go here and then here, come here, go here. It makes easy. Why? I'm going to show you why. Okay, so you have 4 options. We talked about the Android Enterprise, and also if you just scroll down a little bit within the same page, you also have a device administration. Nobody actually works on it, uh, and it's not mature product device administration. And even Google never thought that uh, their operating system becomes as more mature like this to manage. Okay, now this is Android offering. So this is I'm really proud of my slide. Honestly,
Yeah, it
this
looks
actually
good.
yeah, this explains everything for you. You see, bring your own device is just the one device. Okay, with the work profile as well as personal profile. So what happens is within the device, it actually toggles. You see here, personal and the work. So when you toggle to work, all the company applications will be visible. Let's say you pushed Microsoft Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, maybe Edge or Files, whatever the applications you push it, that will be visible under work. When you click on the personal, you will have your Twitter or Facebook, TikTok, whatever that you have, all of that, because this is owned by your own company, not owned by you, not your company, right? And if you see here, there's an icon called a briefcase icon. I can't show you, but because it's very small, but you get it in a later point anyway when we do. But you will have a briefcase. So meaning you see here, Play Store you have one with your personal without briefcase, one with the briefcase. When you click on the browse with the personal one, you come to know that hey, you purchased maybe in a Google Office 365 10 licenses or some application, maybe like a photo to Microsoft Lens kind of an application or some other application, GoToMeeting, all of that would be available from Play Store. Okay, that's how it looks like. Okay, and if you look at here, the blue bar, this is actually owned by you, and the corporate owned is 3 different types, which we talked. And if you look at here, this is actually COBO, meaning device is owned by company, but you are also making very similar to bring your own device concept, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for the mute. So it's the one and the same. So, but on this device, company will have a full right. Whereas here, you see, you don't have here YouTube, all of that personal things. It just has what you have here, Outlook and Office and all of that stuff, which is coming from your company portal. Okay, there's no 2 Play Stores. Here, in these 2, you have 2 Play Stores. But here, just the one from company Play Store. You don't, you cannot search even games here. Whatever it is approved in the company, it will be visible. Other one would be the dedicated, which is some of the applications will only available and they are directly used maybe for inventory management or ticket booking kind of devices. Okay, these are the 4. Clear? So let's actually go and understand each of them. I already talked. If I don't explain the highlighted points, so how do you do actually to enroll these method? This is a work profile. To enroll, bring your own device. What you have to do, you have to go to Microsoft Play Store and install an application called Company Portal. That's it. All you have to do as an end user. You have to install Company Portal application, and the remaining things will come automatically. Okay. So what you can do, what you cannot do is you cannot do wipe all of that stuff. You cannot do definitely. You can only wipe the work profile, not the personal. Okay. So this way you also give the privacy for your end users, and also whatever the applications got encrypted, I mean the applications are there, they are encrypted fully and also visible with a icon called briefcase, which I have already explained.
Yeah.
And the same thing here also, but you have to prepare the device, right? You have to prepare. See, the important point is here. Once you get the device, you have to prepare these three things, right? You have to prepare the device. We're going to demonstrate that in a minute, but you have to prepare them. That's the end user experience. Okay, that's how it's going to work. And let's actually jump into each of these and do what we can do, what we cannot do as a demo. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're excited to learn?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So first thing, what we wanted to learn, we would like to learn the bring your own device. Okay,
Yeah.
give me 5 minutes to facilitate all that lab. Okay,
Okay.
maximum 5 minutes,
I'm gonna
because
go use the toilet as well.
if you want to do it, you have your Android device, you're most welcome to do it. Okay, it should be a touch device. Okay, so you're able to see my screen, right? Nicely.
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is, I'm sorry, what happened, I'll tell you. It has been fully the version which I had actually purchased is not supported with the latest version. As you said, it's just supporting now 10 minutes. Earlier version is, my version is, I don't know, I have to check with them, but yeah, 10 minutes is more than enough. We can reconnect if really wanted. Okay.
If it ends after 10 minutes, could you redo it again and it gives you another 10 minutes?
Yeah, we can do that maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So now what we're trying to do here is we are trying to configure our this. Yeah, this is one. Yeah,
So
we're trying to actually configure the. Yeah, let me actually install the company portal application. As we said, we have to do the. We have to do what exactly? We have to install an application called company portal, right?
Yeah.
That's the first application. So I'll just click on install.
So what does this portal do? It allows your device to talk to Intune.
Yes, for the enrollment process. It does that entire stuff to
enrollment process. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's still installing. Sorry, I just have to. Yeah, so it's just install, or yeah, it's installed. Okay, let's say open the application. Okay, now it's what it says is you have to sign in to company portal. That is your company application. So I'll say sign in. What's the company? Your company? It is Chris at the rate mylab.com, right?
Yeah.
So it takes to our organization, and then we have to type the password. So the password, whatever I type, you're also visible to see. Give me a second. I'll just only stop or pause the, because it will be, if in case, maybe for. So in the VIP edition, actually, it will not be visible, the passwords, all of that stuff. That's why I bought it. So you're able to see my screen now, right?
Yes,
so I'll just enter the password, clicking on sign in. So what happened? It is actually showing me here MFA specific settings. So do you want to know, do you want to actually enroll into MFA, multi-factor authentication? I said no. Let's skip this for 14 days. Now there are you need to accept the terms and conditions of your company.
Terms and condition you created.
Yeah, so you can read all of that stuff, and then if you feel that's okay, then click on accept. Okay, now it's going to tell about the hard. Yeah. So here, if you see here, there's nothing for the Chris at this point of time, but his settings, like how you can sync is, you can do from here the sync. Okay, this actually makes the device to sync the settings, and you can also see what other devices Chris owns. So in this case, my Android and all of that stuff. And if you see here, if you need more help on your company specific, you can actually customize the settings here, so which we have not done. Okay, so here you can actually customize some of the settings here for help desk specific, like support portal, all of that stuff, which we have not done. Okay, we can do this specific settings also. So I can say edit. Okay, I want the blue or orange kind of thing, maybe my logo of my company. Maybe this is my company logo example. This stuff actually should be in a 440, all of that stuff I don't have. I think brand image, let's see if this accepts. Yeah, it's accepted. And support information, contact help desk at learninmylab.com, and my phone number, whatever the phone number, 123, whatever it is, just the email ID. Okay, we have already said help desk contact person name, that is, this is the email ID, person is help desk team. Okay, and website name like learninmylab.com.
Well, that's URL. Okay, you're gonna copy it.
Yeah, so whatever website name. Okay, this is okay, this is the company name. Okay, so this is, again, they don't want this, redirection will be there. So HTTPS. That's it. I think device enrollment with the prompts. Definitely they have to to show the prompts, and maybe my privacy notes. Okay. Okay, all of that stuff. Okay. So you can own all of that stuff. Okay, save. That's it. So I want to give here my name, company name. So these are the settings that will be visible for everyone. Okay, and you can also create your custom policies stuff. Oh, you couldn't. You can create a custom policies, and you can assign them. So this is my. So this is a default, right? In case if you want a country specific, you can do from here. Okay, and this is the notifications that everybody should accept the terms and conditions kind of thing. We can send every annually and get it compliant. Okay, and that kind of stuff. So let's actually mirror the screen to show you how this actually looks. Where it is. Yeah, so now currently there's nothing right here. So I'm gonna actually do a quick, see, if I just do the refresh also, I'm just getting all of that stuff, right? So that's how it will be, and it changes the next minute. But if I just go back here and see, there's nothing actually, because we have not created applications or anything. Yeah. Right. So if I just go back to the devices, and here in Android devices, so some devices should come up here. That's at least one device. So it takes some time to come up. Okay, so let's do whatever we have done for the Windows. Similar things we can do it for here, and then we can screencast. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll say exit, maybe I think better for some time. I don't know. Yeah, exit the program. Yeah, so we'll do all the application deployment, all of that stuff for bring your own device concept. So you're able to see here the device, and I'm going to go to Android devices. So let's actually do the configuration for the enrollment. So if you see here for the enrollment, we haven't done anything actually. Okay, to do this, actually you bring your own device, all of that stuff is not coming up because we just install all of that, but there was no briefcase icon, right? Because it's not coming. If you remember earlier in the screen, there's no briefcase icon, all of that stuff. The reason being we haven't actually onboarded anything that for the Android enrollment. Okay, we're going to do that enrollment process, and later point the application push up, all of that I'm going to do. And also, as I said earlier, you have the enterprise, Android enterprise. Other one is the device administrator. So this is the device administrator. So we're not going to discuss or going to learn this concept. We are going to learn only from here to here all of this, and out of that one setting we don't do it. Okay, but the rest of the things we can quickly do it. So first thing first, you need to actually link your Google Play with a company owned Google account. So your company has to create a Gmail account. Okay, your company has to create a Gmail account, and that must be integrated with your Android. Why we have to do? Let's say there is a Play Store, Google. Okay, you have lot of applications here, right? Let's say I want to buy some applications, maybe here. Okay, sort of some kind of applications. So what happens? You can't buy those applications directly. Okay, unless you actually pay with some credit card, right? So you are not encouraging your end users to buy with their own card. You as a company purchasing, meaning you should have a Google account. Let's say this is my official account, right? So this account gonna integrate with Google so that they can actually get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to integrate my Google account. So think that I have already created an account for my company. I'm agreeing the policy between Microsoft and Google and launch the Google Connect now. So this actually opens a new window, and you need to actually go for a sign up process for Android for Work. So the Google pathway would be Android for Work. So that has to be get started, and you give your company name. So in this case, my company name is Learn in My Lab. That's my company example. So that's a company name. And what I'm going to do, this is actually getting listed within Google with a name called learninmylab.com. So, and it actually requires, as per the European Union laws, they are actually gonna contact the data protector officer, EU representative, but in fact they are not gonna do. So I'm gonna say that it's going to be Patty. So whatever, it's the phone number, all of that stuff. And same thing here also for EU specific policies. So this is a process for sign up. One time you are going to do. This is a configuration which you have to do it as a mandatory. And when you click on complete registration, this box, the red icon will go up, and you are going to get it here as the connected option. So we'll wait for that to happen automatically, and yes, it happened, right? So we're good. And now
that's your Gmail account. You can't use a Hotmail or any other.
no, don't. That has to be Gmail.
Okay.
You're actually buying from where? You're buying from Google Store. And you're deploying where? You're deploying on Android devices.
Oh, okay. Which is Google as well.
Yeah, definitely. So that's it. So once you click on close, so these things earlier it was grayed out, if you remember. See, these are grayed out, right? So as soon as I close, it opens. See?
Oh,
It's
yes,
open.
yes.
It is. So now we are going to test with 4 different options, right? So here the first thing is personally owned device. Okay, so this is the device enrollment option. For this what we have to do, we have to actually create a profile, right? So you remember, right, what we have done for Windows? We created a configuration profile, we created a compliance policies, all of that stuff, right? So we are going to do the same thing, but one thing extra here, at least you need to have one configuration profile to be available, at least one policy should be available. So I'm going to create a first thing first, compliance policies. So I'll create a policy for which operating system? You remember? It's for enterprise for work. Yeah. Then is it owned by company or personal? Personal. So we'll create this and say BYOD. Okay. Device policies. So click on next. So I'm going to say that, hey, this is required. A password is required on a device, and the password must be maybe like at least in numeric. Yeah, whatever you can. But I'll just put it here 4 6 characters maybe. Okay. Password days is going to expire, so let's say 360 days or 90 days, whatever it is you want to set it. So minimum things you have to configure, and then you can secure it. Okay. And again, this is a very similar setting where you're going to actually apply. I'm going to apply for all users here. I'm not excluding anything. Create. Okay, now we have created one policy for enterprise work, that is for BYOD. Sorry, BYOD. And now configuration profile done. So let's create a profile again here for work, and all of the settings are there. So these are the settings that are automatically configured. But my friend, I'm going to make it very simple to understand for you. So you have to look into 2 sections. So these are the highlighted section. One is personally owned, meaning anything here comes, you have to work for BYOD, right? And when you work with other 3 different profiles, you're going to actually work here. Okay. You shouldn't confuse, okay?
So the first one is for BYOD.
Yeah. So I'm going to do here device restrictions. Let's see. Okay, a policy can be configured here, device restrictions. So I'll say BYOD for device restrictions. I'll say that I wanted a password minimum length. I'm seeing here. So the first one earlier was for compliance policy, right? You remember this is complaints where the success or failure rate will tell. This one will enforce the setting to 6 minimum, right? And here inactivity, if it is inactive, let's 5 minutes, it should ask for the password. You can configure that kind of settings. Okay, prevent reuse of the password. You cannot use more than 5 times, all of that. You can block the fingerprint, you can block the face unlock, iris unlock, all of that stuff. You can do it if you want. Okay.
What about if you want to configure it? What do you do then? If you want to configure,
not configure. Then say not configure.
Oh, so when it says not configure, that means it's enabled.
It means that the user have an option to either configure or not configure.
Oh.
Okay, it's the other way. You want to force it. See, it's about security. Device management is about security. Security is what kind of security you're talking about. I'm talking about security to stop fingerprint, face unlock. These are security concepts. Okay, so I can put all these configurations in a way, like copy paste. I want to block it in personal profile to here. So that's I'm gonna block it between sharing the devices. I want to block it. Okay. So what happens is you cannot copy from Gmail to your work profile. Okay, that's what we are going to do it. Okay, so here all of these stuff you can do it. Okay, you can remove some of the accounts, all of that. Camera can be blocked. So if you do it, camera specific anything, we are not going to get the screen mirror. That's not going to work because it's a security which will automatically block everything. Okay, so these are the normal things I've configured so far, and say let's test it. So we have so far configured enrollment option and also policies, right? 3 steps here for personal owned devices. So let me actually screen mirror, okay, one more time the device, and also redo a few.
Configured, sorry, Pavel. We've configured compliance policy and configuration profile.
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah, okay.
2 of them. So let me go to that application. I don't remember. Yeah. So where it is installed. It's launched. Continue. No. Okay. I hope you're able to see in the screen.
Yeah.
So it's gonna come up in a minute. Mirror PC to phone. Yes. That's it. Okay. So you have here. This is how it's easy actually. Earlier, it doesn't take much time. I struggled. I wasted a few minutes.
Yeah.
Precious time. Sorry, because of the version change actually. Yeah. Okay. Now either you can go back here and to uninstall. Okay. Intune or company portal, or you can sync up. So in my case, I just uninstalled. Okay, I'm going to reinstall this. So here,
I'm a bit confused. Why did we uninstall? Why are we uninstalling company portal?
Because what happened is earlier we didn't actually configure enrollment process, so it was not asking anything. Either you uninstall or you do resync. Either way it works.
So we could resync.
Okay. Yeah, we could resync. So just wanted to show you one more time. So
okay, all right, I understand. Yeah. The process, yeah.
Yeah, the process. So also I wanted to make it available here at device categories also, my friend. So here, device categories. You see here, as of now, there's no device categories which I have configured. Let's say this is bring your own device, right? So I just wanted to mention as bring your own device. This is okay, and other one would be, maybe I can say that these are maybe US devices. Just to categorize, we are giving an option for end user when they are trying to enroll. We can say that, hey, choose you're from where. Okay, or maybe you're from specific project 1. Let's say project 1 devices. These are. We're just giving an option. That's it. Okay, or maybe let's say sales team. These are devices. So we give all of these options for the users. Later point, I'm going to show you how these things we can reutilize them. Okay, so where is that app again? I have to remirror what here. Okay, so you see here now company portal application got installed. Okay, and it's asking me to sign in. So Chris is ready, and the password is a super secret password for this user. Am I paused it or not? Yeah, not it. paused. So I'll enter the password. Okay, so let me resume the screen share. Able to see, right? So I'm clicking on sign in button. Wrong password. Oh, I forgot to enter the actual key. Now you should accept the password. So I'm clicking on sign in. So, okay, I don't want to register for my multi-factor authentication, all of that stuff at this point of time. So I'm going, so you see here the color changed, what we have given, my company name came.
Oh, yes.
Now this time if you see here, there are 3-step process.
Step
creating a profile. What is that profile we are talking about? We're talking about a profile.
Android Enterprise or compliance policy.
Exactly. So you'll end now. So I made it easy then for you. So here, these are the profiles. We're talking about these profiles. Okay, it's going to create this profile.
Create what profile? It's referring to compliance policy and configuration profile.
All of that stuff, yeah, all of that stuff will be evaluated now in a minute. So let's begin. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you see here, it tells that what your company can see as an endpoint. As an end user, you might have a concern that joining to this device to company managed, what they cannot see. They cannot see your call logs, web history, location, email, text messages, passwords, all of that. But what they can see your mobile model, serial number, operating system, and also the applications that are installed from here in Intune, and device manufacturer, phone number also for the corporate devices. Okay, if it is a corporate device. So I'll say continue. So I know that what I'm doing. So here it's going to ask me, hey, do you know what? We're actually talking about not the Android device administrator. We're talking about Android enterprise. What's the difference between this? See this. So if you just scroll up and down, you have isolation here between work and personal. Are you okay? Yes, please continue. So it's going to setting up everything for you. The profile configuration. So it's configured the first step. Now you should get a tick mark for the first step, ideally. Connecting, securing the device. Let's say this device has now less configuration. I mean the passcode, all of that. It will ask me to fix it also. So as you see, work profile created. Now continue. So now it's going to register my device with under devices. Under here, it's going to come up in a minute. Now it should also ask me for the device categories. What is that device category?
Okay. The categories you created.
Yeah, I created, but that doesn't have anything. Maybe if he's a sales guy, he might choose as something else also. That's possible. But we're just encouraging end user to be more empowered with their own choice. So now you have devices categories, right? So I can say, hey, this is, I'm sure that I don't want to go for all of this stuff. I just want to go for bring your own device and say done. Right? So now everything is done. All set. Click on done. That's it. And it says that, hey, you can see here, this is your personal. If something is with the briefcase icon, that's your work profile. Similarly, if you want to install some applications, look for Play Store icon with briefcase and search there as a normal search. Then you get that application. Let's say you publish 100 applications, users can search it. Okay, so click on got it. So you understood, and then click on this, whatever it is. So you can see here the devices, all of that stuff. Automatically it is coming. You can check this device, and if this device has any problem, it's going to say, hey, you don't have this passcode, all of that stuff. Okay, and if I try to maybe set a passcode, something else, let's say, you remember what we have configured here? Policies, device restrictions. Oh, we did something right. Copy paste blocking. Okay, that we will go in a other way, but I'll show you here. If you go back here, so you have work is the icon, right? So these are the work applications. Everything under here it will come.
Oh, so everything work here under work.
Work. Okay. Some devices. I'm sorry to say that some devices it doesn't show on a work. It show here a bar. One for personal, other one for work. So you can toggle. Okay, it depends on the OS and the manufacturer of this, because this is customized by Huawei. So it's showing like that for me. It might be a different case for you on the theme based, basically. Okay. Now here, these are the things. So what I have, so I can search here. I can open up my Play Store and set some application. Hey, do I have any application? So I don't have any application. So let's actually quickly go back to apps, if we can, and go to Android. And let's say we wanted to push some application here. Okay, so click on that. Let's say this is managed Google Play, right? Definitely, or as it a Android Enterprise App System. So definitely managed app. Let's say click on. So now what happens is in the backend, it actually opens the Google Play Store like this. This is the one, right? So same thing it opened here. You search here what application you want. Let's say I want my Slack to be there. So click on Slack and approve. So it's gonna approve it, but it also says that, hey, you're approving, but how about the privacy? Are you okay as a corporate company? Are you okay to give permission for the Slack for storage, photos, media, library? Because end user cannot set these privacy settings. So on behalf of end user, you're gonna approve it. So let's say approve. That's it. So you're gonna approve it. Okay, and approved. And now it says that, hey, tomorrow Slack version is, today is maybe 1, tomorrow maybe 1.5 or 2.0 or 3.0. In that situation, as the application owner, they always ask for grant the permissions, required permission, like earlier it said that media, photos, all of that stuff. Do you still continue with that, or you will revoke when the application changed, and user have to again, or you as the admin have to approve it? So in our case, we want to keep it as it is. Like that, you can search whatever the applications you want. So let's say any connect is one of the approved application, right, from a Cisco point of view. So I'm going to approve. So I'm just taking few of the applications, my friend, here, and approve. So approve that, keep these changes. So once I approve that, 2 applications which I approved, so I'll say sync. So what will happen when I say sync? The sync means here a Google account which we actually taken earlier for the sync purpose, all of that will be actually syncing to the company based application. So if I just quickly refresh here, the new applications will be visible. Like you see, Slack is there, AnyConnect is there. So Slack is available, but it was not assigned. If you see here, it's not assigned.
Yeah.
So you can assign to required users. So you want to make it as a mandatory or available. So I want to make it as a required, meaning users no need to do anything. Slack should be automatically available for every Android user.
So
Okay,
you selected all devices and you
if I
selected
want,
all
yeah,
users.
users. So meaning all the Android devices, all the users. So you can mix and match if you want. You
But
have
will
two
it, will
options.
it
Yeah,
install
let me
for
show you.
us?
Yeah, you have an option. So let's say all users, or you want user based, you want to target, or you want to based on a device. How do you want to do it? You
Okay.
choose.
Well, we could do. You couldn't choose both, or you could choose both.
Yeah, you could choose both. You could
Okay.
choose both.
Well, we could leave
Okay.
both. It's fine.
Yeah, both fine. And this I made it as a mandatory Slack, but I want to make this as the available. Okay, so what I can do is I can edit Cisco NA Connect. I'll say available with or without enroll, or available for all users. So what happens is if I choose available as a next second, it's over or what? Okay, reconnect. So give me a second.
Choose available. It will be available there for the user to install.
Yeah, that's it. It's just available. So now, if I just go back to my users portal, okay, I'm just refreshing the device settings, right? And it's a sync.
Oh, that's where you go. Sync settings.
Yeah,
Sync.
quickly. Yeah, quickly. So what happens is, if I just quickly see here, in a minute or so, automatically the see if you see notification here, Slack is coming up automatically, right?
What about when you connect?
No, 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 no. Slack is mandatory, right? I made it Slack
Oh
as
yeah,
mandatory.
any connect you
That's why it's
made
coming.
available.
Yeah. And it's also installing automatically without any user interaction. So we push the application. So in a minute or so, it's going to come up here within this briefcase. Okay. So I'll just wait for a few seconds. So, or I can, even go back to the Play Store of briefcase icon and say my work apps. I can search here. If anything is available, scanning, or library, you can see here some applications. Maybe Slack is installing. Post to that, it might show other applications also. Okay. So this is how you actually push the applications. Okay. Easy.
Yeah, could you show the app?
Minimize. You want to? Yeah, yeah.
No,
I'm going to
show
open.
the
Yeah,
app
I'm going to
in.
open. Yeah, open. So if I open, I need to have a sign up. Definitely Slack ID. Then I can sign in.
And then could you go to the work icon? Let me see. Okay, there it is with the briefcase.
Yeah. Now let's actually look for other application. You see, when I open automatically, it shows that, hey, you have any connect is available. I've
How
not
did
done
you
anything.
get to any connect? You went to Google Play Store.
Yeah, just I went to the Play Store, automatically it came. I've not done
Okay.
anything. Okay, and it is in a mode of install option available. Okay, it's available. Since it is available, I can do that. Yeah. So that's how it's going to work. Okay. So now let's push bigger applications. Okay. We tried, a few smaller applications. Let's try Office. How about Office? Maybe Outlook, or all of the stuff that can be done. Let's say I want Outlook. Same thing. It goes approve, and then for the updates also you have to approve permissions. And then do your sync, or you can actually install the entire Office suite.
Yeah.
Okay, so it depends on you what you wanted to push. Simply approve them, and that gets deployed. Okay, later point. Oh, sorry, I clicked something actually. I've lost it. Yeah, sorry. I think I did wrong something. Yeah. Yeah, Outlook came here. Okay, you can assign this also. I can make it this also available for all the devices, all users save. That's it. So that would actually deploy the application automatically. Okay, so good. We'll go back to other application methods. And right, go here. So now these are the link based, all of that stuff. And again, here also you have a line of business application. If it was packaged, you can push it. Okay. These are the applications from Enterprise App Store. Again, fully managed devices. So these are the, just you can give it a try if you want. Okay, basically. This is for Android store based application. You just have to go and open that URL and give it, maybe let's say I open here, I wanted this Instagram application, so I know this is the Instagram application URL, so I'll just go here and store and say that this is Insta app, like this. You can assign, you have a documentation available, okay, with Microsoft, so simply you can do this stuff. And you can again say that this should be available for all the Enroll devices users. That's it. That would be available for the devices. So that's about the normal configuration side for the Android Enterprise with the configuration of bring your own device. Clear?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. You can hear
Easy,
me.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy. It's straightforward. Yeah.
Straightforward. Now, which one should we should go here? The second one.
Well, if it's okay, can we carry on next week now? Because it's 8:30.